Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. What do I need to say? Well, I have officially started spring break, so I'm off for 2 weeks. That's good. Will I be streaming more often because of it? No way. Will I be streaming longer hours because of it? Probably not. But next week, I'm gonna focus on trigonometry, just because my kids have a test on the first day back. So I don't know. If you want to go over trigonometry, then next week is a good week. Until then, I'm gonna do this, which I guess is a paper 1, May 2018 Time Zone 1 HL paper. You know, it feels good not having to go to work for 2 weeks. How's it going, Ace? Hey, Snake Star, what's up? Feels good, man. Ugh, spring break feels great. Never have to see kids, don't have to email people. I just get to stay home and just relax. We just started, well, technically I guess we start tomorrow, and then we have it for 2 weeks. When's your spring break? Start tomorrow for 1 week? Oh, that sucks. Ours used to be 1 week. And then some funny things happened. We played around with the minutes. So now our school ends at 3:02 every day. And these extra 2 minutes every single day, they built up, and then apparently that lets us have an extra week off. So yeah, my spring break is 2 weeks. Real fun? Why are you in a math stream if you want to have real fun? March 29 and is for 1 week, so April 2nd. You have 2 more weeks of school? Jeez, that sucks. Alright. Let's see. What do I have here? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I've immediately turned off my brain because it's spring break mode. I have a polynomial PQ. When I divide by x plus 1, I get a remainder 7. And then this. Okay. So this is a pretty traditional system setup, right? We have 2 pieces of information, and each one of these pieces is going to make an equation. You have 2 equations, you have 2 unknown variables. Blah blah blah, you solve the system. We're gonna use remainder theorem, I think that's what it's called. But if you divide a polynomial by this linear binomial x minus a, then you can get the remainder of that division if you just take a and then you plug it into x for the polynomial. So essentially, if I were to plug in -1, this needs to return to me a remainder of 7, which is this first little statement here. So if I plug in -1, then what do I have? I have 1 minus p minus q plus 5. I feel like I want to kind of speed run today. But anyways, I'm just plugging in -1 into these x's. So what is this? Then I have 6 minus p minus q equals 7. So p plus q is -1. So there's my first equation, and then next one, same thing. If I were to plug in 2, I should get a remainder of 1. So that's 2 to the power 4, which is 16, plus 2 to the power 3 times p. Hey Tofu Char, what's up? Happy to be on spring break? Ooh, just got some bubble tea. Stretch? Ugh. I don't know what I'm exactly supposed to do on camera for stretch. What kind of bubble tea you get? Where'd you get it from? I just had fried chicken. That was good. Okay, 16 plus 5 is 21, so this needs to be, I think, -20. I reach my hand up into the air as high as I can and make a loud moan. Ugh. Is that good enough? +1 view. Okay, let's solve this system. Oh, speaking of stonks, man. GameStop's still going on, right? Crazy. I think so. I think it is. Jacob YT, thanks for the follow. Anyways, we're gonna solve this system. So this is a non-calculator paper as well, so have to do things the old-fashioned way. Just a little bit of elimination right here. Not gonna lie, if it blows up, then I'm gonna be decently rich. So I'm hoping it does. Then I won't have to pander to you guys anymore and beg for subscriptions. Okay, so P is -3, and then from there, if this is -3, then Q needs to be 2 so that you get -1. And then I think that's what the question wants, right? Find P and Q. Nice. That's not what I want. SMW physicist, thanks. Yeah. I'm praying for it. I want to be fire. Financially independent, retiring early. Something that a student told me about. If I can retire before I turn 30s, that's pretty sweet. Okay, what is this all about? Calculus? Y is equal to sine squared theta. So find dy d theta. Well, that's easy enough. just use a little chain rule. And then hence find the values of theta for which the derivative is equal to 2y. So in other words, we're finding out when this is equal to 2 times y, and I know that y is just sine squared theta. So we just need to solve this equation. So let's collect everything on one side. And I know the derivative looks like we could use a double angle identity, but it's actually not going to help us. Because what we're going to do is we're just going to do some common factoring. And then from here, oh, let me just refresh my domain. It's the first two quadrants, so 0 to pi. Okay, from this factoring, we have sine theta can be equal to 0. In other words, theta can be 0 or pi. Or the second factor, sine minus cosine is equal to 0. And then this is pretty straightforward. There's a few ways that you can reason this out, but this essentially says that sine needs to be equal to cosine, and then if we divide both sides by cosine, then it makes it an easier equation to solve because you're not going to have a mix of different trig ratios. Because essentially this becomes tan needs to be equal to 1, and then in our domain there's only really one option, and that's pi over 4. So here are our 3 solutions. Okay, what is this? 4-sided dice, okay. Random variable t is the maximum between the 2 dice throws. And then the probability distribution is given in this table, and then we need to find these. Okay. So when you throw 2 dice, and then you're going to pick the score that has the dice that has the larger number. So we're trying to find the probability that the largest number is 2. So there's lots of ways to reason this out, but essentially you could either have 2-1, 1-2, or 2-2-2. So this A value is 3 out of 16. And then you could do the same sort of thing for finding B, but if you already know what A is, and you already know the rest of the probabilities, then it's pretty straightforward to find B, because you know that all of them added together need to be a probability of 1. So I have 1 plus 3 plus 7, which is 11, and it's out of 16, so B needs to be 5. And then hence I have all of the data I need to do the expected value. The expected value is just you take each score, multiply it by its probability, and then you add them all up. So 1/16 plus 2 times 3/16, which is 6/16, plus 3 times 5 over... Why does that say 7? 3 times 5/16, which is 15/16. And then 4 times 7, which is 28. So my expected value is whatever this is. Oh boy. Okay, 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 28 is 35. Plus 15 is 50. So the expected value is 50/16. I don't know if they want you to reduce it. I mean, I guess you can. It's not a big deal. 25/8. Oh, and then I posted in my Discord, in the general channel, asking you guys a question. So normally I do, you know, IB stuff, and then every once in a while I do AP Calc. But the thing is that historically my AP Calc streams are like the least popular by quite a large amount. And I'm wondering if it's even worth doing the AP Calc streams. So let me know either in chat or in the Discord. Because I seem to have built my base around IB and not so much around AP. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Given this and that, find this. There is, and I advertised there, but honestly, I didn't even get that many followers from it. Like, they seem even like more annoying, where they just complain all the time about help, and then I got even less people coming to my stream compared to even the IB kids. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's just full of complaints. And then I offer out, you know, my hand. Take my hand. I will help you. And they just continue shitposting and complaining because, you know, they're not there to actually seek help. They just want to vent, which is fine, I guess. But anyways, let's evaluate this integral. So, of course, you can split it up. And then this is pretty straightforward because the integral of this is just 2x evaluated from 0 to -2. Now the issue is I need to figure out this 0 to, or -2 to 0. And we're going to use the fact that I already know what -2 to 2 is and then what 0 to 2 is. So this thing is just from -2 to 2 subtract the 0 to 2. And I already know what these two are. So what is that, 10 and 12? (10 minus 12 is -2 plus 4 is 2. Never thought? I'm not even the first on Twitch to do this. But I guess I'm glad that you found me. Self-proclaimed physicist person. See, this is so odd. Like, I get people that come in and then I ask them where they found me from, and then they say like they search math on Twitch, which is kind of weird. I would never go on Twitch and search math, even if I was bored. But I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. I mean, it's a good niche because there's so few people that do math on Twitch. I don't want to talk about female streamers. I know I'm already at a disadvantage. Could you imagine? Oh, thanks for thinking that I'm chill. Okay, what the heck is this? So... Oh yeah, Pi Day. You know, I don't like the pressure of Pi Day. Hey RGPT. Because as a math teacher, right? My entire department, like internationally, you know, like people just go, "Oh yeah, you should celebrate Pi Day." And then I don't care about Pi Day. Just let me live my life. March 14th, whatever. It's not even Pi Day for like the majority of the world. Because it's 14/3, not 3/14. Would I start an OnlyFans? No. I'm not cute enough for that. I have no idea what's going on, physicist says. The only thing I saw that was somewhat familiar to me was the trigonometry problem. Oof. You'd pay for that? Thanks. Why don't you pay for a subscription to my channel first, RGPT? Okay, so this question here, we have an integral from, what, -2 to 0 of f of x plus 2? No nudes, please. I would be one of those, like, teases that don't post anything, but then you still pay me in hopes that one day, maybe. Okay, the issue with this integral is in my parameters I have x plus 2, whereas my only information I have is integrals of just f of x. So what do? What grade do I teach? I teach high school, so 8 through 12. Well, the easiest way to think about this is I need to have f of x, a single variable. And the x part doesn't necessarily matter. So this is kind of like a weird U-substitution for those that want to think of it this way. Because du is the same as dx. So this just becomes f of u du. But the nicer thing though is the boundaries of integration change. Because if x is -2, then if I were to put it in here, then the lower boundary in terms of u will become 0. And then the upper boundary will become 2. And I already know what this is. they told me what that is right here, right? 0 to 2 of some integral of f gives me 12. So this is 12. You're not a physicist? Fraud. They show up in your physics class? Are you a student in physics? Ooh, you just started integrals? Fun. Ooh, U stuff, yeah. Derivative is slope and integral is area. That's pretty good. And they're also kind of like inverses of each other. Yeah, our Snake Star, the U stuff, you're an SL, right? Or are you an HL? I forget. U-Substitution is kind of like a... That's like as complicated as it gets, luckily for you, for integration. And it's kind of just reverse chain rule, essentially. You can do HL stuff, yeah? Okay, what the hell is this? Solve this inequality. So, if I collect my inequality together, and this particular format is actually a quadratic. It's hard to see, but it is there. Where you have, you know, a squared minus b times a minus 2b squared. This is IB's former test. They have, like, you can access this for free, all of their tests online from former years. So I just go through these. So hopefully you guys can see that this is essentially a quadratic type formatting, and then I think we can factor this. Hello, happy spring break. Yeah, so happy. You need 2 BA to do this nicely? Isn't this how it factors? Right? A squared, and then you have... Oh, maybe these are backwards. This should be plus, and this should be minus. I think this is fine, RGPT. Okay, but once you're here, then it's pretty straightforward. We should solve where this is 0. Damn, you did that fast. I'm surprised that you messed up somehow. For those that are new to the channel, RGPT is working on his like master/doctorate in math. and he is a TA for junior calculus courses in university. So his math is way better than mine. No, don't tell people. Why not? You're part of the appeal of this channel. The jaded mathematician. It's the same thing. You could probably solve it in Desmos. Teach innocent Dewitt how to get a girl. He did say that he was practically married though, so I'm sure he could help you with that. Anyways, to solve this inequality, we would need to first solve for when it's equal to 0. So in that case, we have what? Natural log of x needs to be equal to negative natural log 2, which is the same as natural log of 1/2. So x needs to be 1/2. Or this one, natural log x needs to be 2 natural log 2, which is natural log of 2 squared, which is just 4. And then that means that x has to be 4. Okay, so that means that my x values are equal to 0 at 1/2 and 4. And of course, we're taking the natural log of x, so it can only be greater than 0, positive numbers. So that means that in every other interval between 0 to 1/2, 1/2 to 4, and then 4 onward, it needs to be either positive or negative. So I'm just testing intervals to find out when I get a negative result from all of this. So, I don't know, let's do x equals 1. So if I do x equals 1, then I have natural log of 1 squared minus natural log of 2 times natural log of 1. And natural log of 1 is just 0, so all of these are just 0. So is 0 less than 2 natural log 2 squared? And yes, it is. You can pretty clearly see that because natural log 2 is going to be positive. So this is an interval for our answer. And then let's see, what else could we do? I need to choose a value more than 4. I think e squared works. Because e is like 2.6, right? So if you square it, it should be more than 4. So my left side is going to be, what, natural log of e squared minus natural log 2 natural log of e squared. And then on the other side was just this. They should do a study on math students' attractiveness. What are you trying to say about RGPT? I can tell you right now, from my experience going through a math degree, there are not a lot of attractive math students, unfortunately. Okay, what is this? Natural log e2 is 2. So then 2 squared is 4. Pure math students are usually pretty ugly. Yeah, they are. They're pretty cringy. Okay, how can I tell if this is less than this in an efficient way? Okay, natural log 2 is some sort of decimal, and then if you square it, it gets fairly small. And then you multiply it by 2. I feel like this is larger because of 4. I'm just gonna say that this interval doesn't work. I want to say that this side is larger. And then from here, let's try e to the power of -1. Because that should be less than 1/2, because e is larger than 2. So then I'll have -1 squared, which is 1. And then natural log of e to the -1 is just -1, so this becomes plus natural log 2. And then is this less than 2 times natural log 2 squared? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not allowed to use a calculator. So maybe? Oh wait, I can just put this into the factored form. I think that might be easier. So let me retry this e squared one real quick. So if x is e squared, then this is 2, and then this is 2. So this is positive. And then I think this is positive. So then positive times a positive will be a positive number. And I'm looking for when it's a negative result, so then this interval doesn't work. So I think that works out. You can leave it in terms of ln, but I'm just trying to find out when this thing is... So this inequality is the same, is equivalent to this inequality. And this expression is the same as this factored expression. So I'm just trying to find out when this is positive or negative, because that will tell me like the intervals for my answers. Yeah, you probably should simplify your root to 2 root 2 if you have root 8. And likewise, if e is -1, then natural log of e is -1, and then this is -1. I don't know why people simplify. Old school mathematicians, you know? Okay, this is definitely negative. And then I need to find out whether this is negative or positive. And I feel like I should know what natural log 2 is off the top of my head, but I don't. RGPT, do you know if natural log 2 is larger than 1? It's less than 1? So this is negative, this is negative. So, right, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Okay, so then both these factors are negative, so then their product is positive, therefore this is not an interval either. I gotcha. There you go. So my answer to this question is x needs to be in the interval from -1, or from 1/2 to 4. Happy spring break. Man, I'm so happy. And it's daylight savings too, which is so good because now the sun sets an hour later. So good. So many good, well, so many reasons to be happy. But less sleep? Yeah, but I have 2 weeks to catch up on sleep. It's fine if I lost an hour. You're back? Where'd you go? Return to Monkey? Monkey. Would it be better to write root 8 as root 32 over 2? No. In what world would that be better? Is it better to write 4 as 100 over 4? That's why we simplify? Yeah, but that's a different argument than saying this. Like, arguably, which one is simpler? The one with 1 digit or the one with 2 digits, but both the digits are smaller? That's... like, I would agree that... this should be 2. That this is the least simple, but the argument between which one of these is better... like, I personally don't care. I think if there's further work to be done, then sure. So, like what you're saying, Kensiki, right? If you're gonna add this to, for example, like root 50, right? Then yeah, you're gonna need to be able to add it. But, I don't know, final answer, right? There's nothing else to do with this, and then you have this. I don't know, what's the big deal about leaving it this way? I hate rationalizing denominators, by the way. I think that's like boomer math right there. Unless, of course, you have extra work to be done later, right? But if your final answer is like 1 over root 2, man, just leave it as 1 over root 2. That's boomer math right there. So arbitrary. And I know where it comes from, right? It's how do you like make sense of this? Yeah. I mean, it's the same argument as, like, what's the point of teaching, like, secant, cosecant, cotangent, like, in a realistic setting? Or, like, one of the other extinct trig ratios, like Haversine. None of those things matter anymore. But, you know, still gotta follow tradition, I guess. Okay, let's see. What do I need to do? Mathematical induction. Prove that these two are the same. Okay, so let's do base case. Where n is 1. If that's the case, then on the left side I just have 1. And then on the right side I have 4. minus 1 plus 2 over 2 to the power of 1 minus 1. So then this becomes what? 4 minus 3, which is 1. So it works. Yeah, well, like the origins of all of the fancy trigonometric ratios is what? Navigation on the sea. But that stuff's gone, you know, we have GPS now. So no one uses all of those fancy other trig ratios. There's no point in learning them. Okay, and then let's assume that we have this be true for n up to some arbitrary value of k. You do see the trig stuff? Haversine? You've seen Haversine before? Exactly. What is Haversine? I don't even know, but it was a trig ratio of some sort. That's why I had to be able to translate French math papers to English to get my PhD. It's traditionally a part of the math PhD. God, that sucks. I thought it was Latin. But you can speak French, Kinsiki? That's impressive. Were you the guy that's in New York City? I can't keep track of everyone anymore and where they're from. No, you can't just multiply it by 2. I do not know any French anymore. None? Vous ne pouvez pas parler en français? So how do you do it? You use cosine identity, double angle identity. Damn, you crammed in the entire French language in a month? Just to translate a math paper? Okay, what's next? Now let's see if this is going to be true for k plus 1. Fat rice pot tells me to stretch again. I feel like I don't need to stretch though. It would have been better if you asked me to hydrate or something. Do you have to memorize them though? Because traditionally they're given to you in a formula book. you know ne pas is the worst? Not necessarily. Ne pas is just negation. Anyway, so I need to show that this thing is going to become 4 minus k plus 3 over 2 to the power of k. Okay, and then we're going to use the fact that I already know that up until this term, that I can say that it's equal to this. So these first couple of terms I can replace with my hypothesis. Had triple nested ne pas? That's gross. Okay, so all I need to do now is I just need to play around with this so that I get that. And that shouldn't be too bad, I think. So let's see. This is what? K plus 1 over 2 to the power of k. That's sad. What's the application behind those trig identities? They're just nice to know. It's essentially so that you can just always relate things to the basic trig identities. These two. Took them 3 attempts. Jeez. Did you try using Google Translate? Literally can't do the question? Okay, well. Let me go see what it's about after I finish this. Okay, I should add these terms together, so they need a common denominator. And that common denominator should be, what, 2k? So I need to multiply this one by an extra 2. Milky Mango, thanks. So what do I have then? I'll have negative 2k plus 4 2k plus k plus 1. Let me write this a little bit better. This should be a minus here. Hello, Spirit. And we're almost done, right? I just need to continue simplifying this. Negative 2k, so that's going to be negative k. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3, right? Factor out the negative. And then I think I'm done, right? Yeah, I just needed to show this. So blah, 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 you do the steps, therefore through induction, mathematical induction, this is true. So proof complete. Okay, Sir Pence question. There's no question, Q. If you need to ask something, Spirit, then go for it. I'm just gonna deal with one question before yours. Let me just try to find it. Yeah, proofs suck. Okay, so Pen's question was if cosine x is 2 root 2, then ask a life question. Yeah, what's up? Oh, but geometry's tough. I think geometry proofs are super cool, but they're incredibly, like, difficult to come up with. Okay, Serpent. Did they tell you the domain for x or not? You are the one in New York, yeah. Why did I go into teaching math after a math bachelor's as opposed to other stuff? Yeah. Are you sure this is 2 root 2, Serpent? I think it's supposed to be something else. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend it's supposed to be root 2 over 2, because that would make more sense. Okay, Spirit, I'll answer your question after this, actually, to be... So let's pretend it's 2 root 2. We know that cosine 2x can be written as 2 cosine squared x minus 1. And you already know what cosine x is, right? It's 2 root 2. So you just plug it in. And then you're done. Okay, why did I become a math teacher? Because you are confusing the order of which I decided things. I decided to be a teacher before I decided what subject I was going to teach, to be honest. So I wanted to be a teacher for quite a long time, actually. And then I thought about what subjects I would enjoy teaching. And I was, decently good at math in high school. So I thought I might as well just go and teach math. It's kind of a boring answer, but yeah. And that's why math teachers are pretty rare, because who's gonna suffer through, 4 years of university math just to become a teacher? Aside from, people that already had their heart in teaching. What's my favorite math class in undergrad? Oh, geez. I don't remember, to be honest. Probably some sort of differential equations class. I enjoyed differential equations. They were fun. Okay, what the heck is this? Let y be equal to arc cosine. Find the derivative of this. I do not know the derivative of arc cosine off the top of my head. But luckily, there's a formula booklet, so this thing better tell me. Otherwise, I'm screwed. But luckily, I'm not. So the derivative is negative 1 over square root 1 minus x squared. Yeah, I can't imagine coming up with questions would be enjoyable. But don't you have like I don't know how it works for post-secondary. Don't you guys get given like a big repository of former notes and tests and questions, and then you can just pick and choose? Google? Yeah, that's good enough. It's crazy the amount of stuff you can find on Google. Okay, so I took the derivative, and then there is an extra 2 here down in the denominator because of the chain rule. Back had dinner? What'd you have for dinner? And then now I need to find the integral of arc cosine. GF made kimchi fried rice. Oh, nice. How long have you two been dating? You said that you were practically married. What does that mean? How many years? $8 years? Oh. And you were 26, right? So that means that you met basically either during high school or soon afterwards. Wow. So you guys started dating in what, grade 11? Grade 12? Met in uni. That's good. Good for you. This is the 8th year. Congrats. Cries and Forever Alone. Snakestar, you're in high school. Just relax. Use a free online textbook. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I need to find the integral of arc cosine from 0 to 1. And there is no real shortcut to this. It's not like they tell you any fancy integrals. What are you talking about, honey key? Look, you two that are complaining about being forever alone, you've only been alive for like 15 years. I don't want to hear you complain about being alone. I don't want to think about doing this in a nice way. Just play Baba instead? No, I can't just quit. Can you help me with a question? Math question? Or life advice question? Because those cost channel points. I can send you a link that has a decent list of free open math textbooks that have been peer reviewed if you like. I mean, it'd be nice. Why don't you can join my Discord and post it in there. I have no guarantees that I'm going to use it because, you know, there's a lot of resources out there, but I'm not going to say no. Anyway, Snakestar, what is the antiderivative? So you need to think of something that when you take the derivative, you will get this as an answer. So let's start off with the easy one. When you take the derivative of cosine, you get sine, sort of. Cosine t, the derivative, you get negative sign. And luckily there is a negative here, so then that we can consider as part of the derivative. So this should be a +2 cosine. And you can always check if you're doing it correctly by just taking the derivative of this and seeing if it matches. And then you need to figure this one out. Now, what's lucky is that this is t to the power of 2, and you know if you were to go backwards, this exponent should be a 3. Because when you take the derivative of this, you're going to be subtracting 1 to get 2. Now, if you wanted to take the derivative of t to the power of 3, then this 3 becomes the coefficient. And luckily, if you look, it's right here. So this is an antiderivative. Because if you took the derivative of these two terms, you get this. Of course, you do have to be careful, and you need to add a constant. Because, like, you know, -1 plus 2, all of those would become 0. So we always consider a constant. So this is the general antiderivative for your question. Make sense? Yeah, you just go backwards. Just think about it. Okay, back to my question. I really don't want to think about my question. Mostly because I forgot how to do it. Man, I got some big hitters in my chat. Kensinki with the PhD in math. French math. RGBT. On his way to having his doctorate as well. And Snake Star. Okay, I honestly completely forgot how to do this, so let's see what I can play around with. I don't think this will work. I'm gonna cheat. Honestly, I should know what this is, because I'm taking a basic integral course right now. Oh, do it by parts. Oh, I guess that's why they told you to find this. Okay, well, let's do that then. Oh, now that they tell me to do it by parts, I distinctly remember this being in my notes. Well, this sucks. Also, my Discord bot dislikes you. Really? Oh. Thanks, Kanziki. I guess I'll add you as a friend. Approved textbooks. Like I said, I have no idea if I'll use them, but thanks. Okay, so we do an integration by parts. This is going to be my u term. And then I already know its derivative, which is right here. So then this is my du term. And then dv is just the dx part, so v is x. So we have this thing, and this is evaluated 0 to 1. It said no links. Yeah, I don't know. One of my students set up the Discord, so I don't know. We've had issues with the bots being overly strict. And I haven't gone and fixed it because I'm lazy. Okay, and then I need to integrate this. This looks not fun. So let's see. Let's do a U-Substitution. And then I'll get negative x over 2 dx, which is very convenient because that's right here. What's arc cosine of 1/2? Pi over something, right? Pi over 6, I think. Okay, I'm just changing my integration boundaries and making my U-substitutions. What is the integral of negative 1/2? That's positive 1/2 times 2, I think. And this is from 3 over 4 to 1. Okay, I'm leaving it like this. I mean, I guess I could simplify this to 3. Spirit, asking a lot of questions about the future. Are you currently studying math? Hey, Just Ron. How's it going? Doing physics. There's way better job prospects than math if you're doing your physics degree, aren't there? Okay, let's see. Let A be sine B, where B is an acute angle. And then, in terms of B, find the solutions to this equation. Okay. Yeah, finance firms love mathematicians. At least at my post-secondary, we had a math prof that was, one of his jobs was, aside from teaching and researching, was he was like the go-to if you wanted to become an actuary. And again, part of my math degree is some mandatory programming courses. So yeah. So I guess there's some options for mathematicians. Oh, just around where you study? Damn, all the adults are in my chat right now. Okay, I need to solve this equation for x, right? Okay, let me do some reasoning. First off, A is positive because B is an acute angle. So we are solving for sine of 2x to be a negative value, negative A, where x is between 0 to pi. Now, we can actually refine this a little bit better and say that x needs to be between pi over 2 to pi. Sine is an odd function, yeah. Does that help me out here? What does that mean? That sine of negative 2x is equal to positive a? So negative 2x is equal to b? So x is b over negative 2? Which doesn't really make sense given the domain. So I need to add a pi. I'm curious about this one. I can replace A with sine B. That's what I did earlier. So if this is just the same thing as what I'm doing over here, isn't it? I don't know. I feel like this might be right. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Oh, I guess I should explain it. So sine 2x is equal to negative a, and because sine is odd, then that means that sine of negative 2x is equal to positive a, and then this of course is sine of b. Which means that negative 2x is a coterminal angle to b. And the only coterminal angle that makes sense is plus pi, given my domain. What problems are these? These are higher level IB problems. International Baccalaureate. High school level problems, always high school. Okay, what do I got? I got function, rational function. Graph has a maxima at A. Find the coordinates at A. Sure thing. So I'm going to need to take the derivative and then solve it for being 0. So f of x is, and I'm not going to take a derivative of a rational if I don't have to. So this can be rewritten as 1 over x cubed minus 3 over 2 x squared. So this is easier to take a derivative of. And I then set this equal to 0 and solve this equation. So multiply everything by x to the power 4. You worked at a grocery when you were younger to build character? Are you saying that retail didn't jade you and make you a bitter person and hate customers? Because that's what it did to me. Okay, solving this equation, you'll get x equals 1, right? Because this will become 3 over here, then you divide by -3, so it's -1, and then the fifth root is 1, -1. And I know in terms of HL you could also consider the complex roots, but it does say that x is a real number, so don't sweat it. Okay, find the coordinates of A. Well, x is -1, so then we just plug this into our function to get the y value. So I have -1 minus 3 over 2. So what, -5 over 2? Okay, what's next? Show that there's exactly one inflection point B on the graph. Ha, look at this loser who has school tomorrow. Oh, hydrate, thanks. Have a good night, Snake Star. Okay, I'm gonna go grab water because I actually don't have water. I will be back in just a bit. Okay. So to find my point of inflection, I need to take a second derivative, right? So take the derivative of this thing. And then I want to show its point of inflection, so I make this equal to 0. So -12 over x to the power 5 needs to be 3. Which means that x to the power of 5 needs to be -4, right? But it says that there's only one point of inflection. Oh, I guess this is true. So then x needs to be the fifth root of -4. And then the coordinates can be expressed in this form: 2 to the power of a, and then b times 2 to the power of -3a, where a and b are rational numbers. Okay, so x can be written as a power of 2. Really? I don't see how it can be written as a power of 2 because it's -4. Did I mess up my derivative somewhere, maybe? Double check. Okay. This should be positive 12. Okay, here we go. That's better. So then 4th root of 5 is the same as saying the 2 to the power of 2 over 5. So here is my A, I think. Yeah. And then I need to find my B. So if I were to plug this into my function, this function, I get 2 minus 3, 2 over 2, 5 to the power of 5, and then 2x oh, this is annoying, and then I have to simplify this. Simplify it into this. Okay, well, let's see. 2 to the power of negative 3 times A. Which means that I can write this as a power of negative 6 over 5, right? And forget it. I thought I could maybe eke out a smart shortcut. But I'm just gonna keep working with this, I guess. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 2 minus 12 is negative 10. Ah, here we go. So all you needed to do was just simplify it, and then you get negative 5. So I think that's B, right? Yeah. Alright, sketch this graph, showing clearly the positions of points A and B. Okay, first off, what do I have? I have a vertical asymptote at 0. I have a minimum point at negative 1 and negative 2.5. So, I don't know, somewhere here. And then I have an inflection point at 2 to the power of 2 over 5. And I'm supposed to know roughly where that is. And then it has this y value right here. Okay, where is 2 to the power of 2.5? That's almost the square root of 2. Square root of 2 is like, what, 1.6? So somewhere like here-ish is my x value. And then the y value is whatever the hell this is. That's roughly 2. Well, divide by 2. This is roughly 2.5. So I guess there's an inflection point here. Okay, do I have x-intercepts? I probably do. Okay, at the 5th root of 2 over 3. I have no idea where that is. 5th root of 2 over 3. I don't know. All I know is that this is a maximum value right here. So I'm assuming it goes like this or something. This is an inflection point right here. So it changes concavity. The 5th root of 2 over 3? I guess that's kind of close to 1, isn't it? So you have something, I guess, that looks like this? I have no idea. Yeah, it's really quiet all of a sudden. Jazz's questions? I don't know, probably on Thursday. That's normally... Fridays are normally when her assignments are due. And my kids are on spring break, so they're not asking questions. Okay, we have this pyramid. Here's the coordinates of everything. Okay, find the equation of this plane that goes through A, B, and D. What did you do when you studied math? You ever take topology? I took one course and I had no idea what was going on. We talked about like Lie algebras or something. It was the one course I didn't understand because I didn't have the prerequisites for it. I had no idea what an algebra was or anything like that. So I got screwed. Okay, to find the Cartesian equation of the plane, I need to find the normal vector of the plane, which means that I need to find two vectors in the plane and take their cross product. Probably the latter. I remember the word manifolds. You don't understand RGPT. Like, I came in and left with like the same exact amount of knowledge. Every day, I just wrote all these symbols that I didn't understand because I didn't have the prerequisites. I couldn't even tell you if I tried. Okay, let's find AD, vector AD. And let's also find vector AB. Do you remember the full course name? Nope. I put that long behind me. That was like 7 years ago. Okay, vector AD is just D's minus A's, so -1, 0, 1. AB is B minus A, so 0, 1, 0. Yeah, that was the only topology course I've taken, and it was not fun. Mostly because, again, I was not prepared enough for it. I should have taken abstract algebra beforehand. I think so. It was cross-listed with a grad course. It was an honors undergrad course / master's course, grad course. Anyways, I should explain what I'm doing here. We want the Cartesian equation of the plane, right? Which is n dot b, and then, or n dot x or something, and then over here n dot b, where x is just a generic vector, n is the normal of the plane, and then n dot b is, well, the normal of the plane dot with b, which is a vector in the plane. And then, so right now I'm currently working on finding this. So this is the cross product of two vectors in the plane. Yeah, I didn't have any of those courses, so I had no idea what was going on. Tensor Products, I remember, was something the prof mentioned. I don't think I did. Okay, last time I tried to do a cross product off the top of my head, I messed up. So let's not do that. Hello, Squishing. Yeah, you're not gonna get an opinion from me, because I don't know enough about it. Okay, let's see, V2 times W3, sure, minus W3 times V2, so -1, sure, that's my first component. And then 3 times 1, or third times the first, let's say, so that's 0. And then minus first times the third, so then this is going to be positive, or this is going to be 0 still. And then first times the second, so that's -1. And then second times the first, so that's my normal vector. So the Cartesian equation of the plane -x plus, or -x minus z Yeah, sounds like yours is more rigorous than mine. Okay, so apparently this is my Cartesian equation. So if I take -1, 0, -1, I don't want to say mine is more rich in theory. And then I dot it with, you know, x, y, z, then I would get this. And then -1, 0, and -1, and then of course dotted with something in the plane. Or actually, I don't think it's dotted with a vector in the plane. It's dotted with a position vector in the plane. So if I dot my normal with, for example, the position vector of coordinate A, then I should have this equals -1. So let's just say that this is my equation of this plane. And then here is the second plane that goes through BCD. So find the angle between the faces. Okay. So I already have my first normal, right? Normal 1. And the equation of the second normal is, you can see from this equation, it's going to be 0, 1, 1. So I'm going to find the angle between the normals. So these two dotted together are going to be -1. And then this is equal to something, something, something. The length of the two times cosine of the angle between the two vectors. So what is the length of each vector? I think it's √2. So then this is equal to √2 times √2, which is just 2, times cosine theta. In other words, cosine theta is -1/2. So the angle between them, the normals, is some special triangle, blah blah blah. Two pi over 3? Okay, and then we just have to be careful, because this is the angle between the normals, which isn't necessarily the angle between the actual faces themselves. So let's say that these are your two faces. Oh, that's a bad example because they're perpendicular. But we just calculated the angle between the normals. They took the topology requisite out of my degree. Okay. It was still hard. Can't imagine to doing the Lie algebra. And it also had no topology requirement. Yeah, well, it was an honors course, so they warned us. Oh, differential geometry. Yeah. Yeah, I did differential geometry. And then that was fine. And then the follow-up course. So that was like 424 or something, right? Math 424. The follow-up course was the topology course. It was 425, and it's officially the differential geometry was listed as a prereq, but it actually wasn't, because you didn't need to know anything from it to do the topology course. You actually needed to know abstract algebra and things like that. Which version? I don't remember. You're asking me about things that happened 7 years ago. I wanted to say it was curves and surfaces. I don't know. I remember something about geodesics was, you know, mentioned in the differential geometry. I don't know if that helps you determine which one I took. But I don't think we did manifolds. Anyway, so this is the angle between here. And we want to find the angle between the planes. Yeah. And then, you know, given the geometry of things, this is actually just the supplement, I think, or the complement. I forget. So the actual angle, I want to say it's the supplement, but I'm not entirely sure. They're gutting math? They always gut math. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna finish this question, and then I'm probably gonna call it here, but I still have quite a bit more to go. For example, plane 3 passes through O and is normal to the line BD. So, normal to BD. And passes through O. So I guess I can find the midpoint of BD, and then the position vector from the midpoint to O is the shortest distance, right? So then it's perpendicular. So then O to like A, B, C, D, E. So let's say this is E, right? The midpoint from D to B. So OE should be the normal to BD if E is the midpoint. So B and D so this is 1, 1, 0, and then D is 1. So I think E is just all 1/2, is it not? I'm pretty sure E is 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. So then find the Cartesian equation of. So the normal's 1, 1, 1? It always goes back to this conversation. Okay, the midpoint from B to D I think is 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. So that means that vector OE, right? Which I believe is perpendicular to BD. Should be essentially 1, 1, 1. I know it's 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, but then, you know, I'm just going to multiply everything by 2 because we're just dealing with a vector here. 1, 1, 1. Are we going to learn vectors? No, you guys aren't. Max does because he's an HL. Oh wait, I'm overthinking this, shoot. The plane is normal to BD, which means that BD is the normal of the plane. So forget everything I just said about E and stuff. None of that matters. Why can't I choose my eraser? Okay, never mind this whole midpoint stuff. I was overthinking this. Okay, but it passes through O, so that's easy enough to do. And then, oh, I guess I need to find the vector BD. So BD is -1, -1, 1. So that's my normal vector. -1, -1, 1. So then the Cartesian equation is -1, -1, 1. So minus x minus y plus z. And then this should be equal to 0 because it goes through the origin. Okay, now the plane is going to cut AD and BD at the points P and Q respectively. And I show that P is the midpoint of AD. So I have this plane, and its normal is BD, and then so this is hard to draw, but essentially you have this plane, and then it's going to slice through okay, this is not helping. But there's this plane, and then it's going to cut through here. And then I need to show that P is the midpoint of AD. And then afterwards find the area of OPQ. Man, this seems annoying. Okay, first off, AD is this vector right here. So -1, 0, 1. So the equation of any point on the line AD is some parameter plus a position vector. So I'm just going to use A, which is 1, 0, 0, 1, or 1, 0, 0. So this is x, y, and z, essentially. And then I know from the Cartesian equation here I need to find their intersection. So I guess what I can do is I can parametrize x, y, and z, right? So this means that x is equal to negative lambda plus 1, y is 0, and then z is lambda. So now if I plug it into my Cartesian equation, I'll have negative lambda plus 1 minus 0 plus lambda needs to be equal to 0. So 2 lambda minus 1 is equal to 0. So lambda's 1/2. Which means that my point P is going to be 1/2, 0, and 1/2. I'm just plugging in lambda back into my parametrized equations. And then we need to show that this is the midpoint of AD. And that's probably pretty straightforward because AD is right here. Yeah. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward, right? Because A and D, A is 0, 1, 0, 0, and then D is the other one. This is messy. But this is D, and then you have a midpoint formula, but it's really easy, right? You take the average of each coordinate, which ends up being 1/2, 0, 1/2, so then we're good. We have shown that that is the midpoint. Okay, and then find the area of the triangle OPQ. Okay. So I need to find the area of this triangle. So luckily I just found out about P. And then I think I still need to find Q. Then I can essentially just use trigonometry, right? Or area. Okay. Okay. So I find P. I need to find Q. So BD is right here. So -1, -1, 1. And then D is 0, 0, 1. Okay, I'm just going through the same process as the first part to get my point Q. So what is X? X is negative lambda, so is Y. And then Z is lambda plus 1. So if we put these into the Cartesian plane formula, I'm gonna have lambda plus lambda plus lambda plus 1 equals 0. So then lambda is -1/3. In other words, Q is -1/3, -1/3, 2/3. And then I need to find the area from P, Q, and O. So let's list a couple of things that I think I need to know. I need to know the length of P, which is 1/4 plus 1/4 square rooted. So the square root of 1/2. And then the length of Q so that's 1/9 plus another 9th. So that's 2/9 plus 4/9 is 6/9. So this is the square root of 6/9. Okay, and then I need to find the angle between them. Or actually, I don't think I needed to do this. Wait, P cross Q is the area, the length of this is the area of the parallelogram. And then I just take half of it to get the area. So I think I'm going to do that instead. So I don't think I need this. Oof, this question was a struggle. Okay, so what do we got? The first component of P cross Q. So the second times the third, so 0, okay. Minus the third times the second, so minus -6, so +6. And then I have the third times the first, so third times the first is -1/6. And then the first times the third, so -3/6, so -1/2. And then first times the second, which is -6. Second times the first, which is 0, so -1/6. So then the length of PQ is 1/32 plus another 1/32 plus a 1/4, which we can rewrite as 16/32. So this is the square root of 18/32. (18/32) reduces to 9/16, right? Which is 3/4. That's convenient. That's a good sign. And then we want half of this because we're talking about a triangle. This is the parallelogram. So divide this by 2. So 3 over 8. And then I think I'm done for now. I think there's one more question, but I'm not gonna do it because it's spring break and I don't feel like doing it. So with that being said, time to check my answers. And see how everything goes. So, -3 and 2. -3 and 2. Looks good. 2 sine cosine. 2 sine cosine. Looks good. Pi over 4. Pi over 4. Nice. Okay, 3 over 16, 5 over 16. 3 over 16, 5 over 16. Okay. 25 over 8, 25 over 8. Nice. I got 2, and I think they have 2, so that's good. And then they have 12, and I have 12, so that's good. And then this one I'm kind of sketched out about. But my solution is between 1/2 and 4 there, and my solution's between 1/2 and 4, so that looks good. Wow, I'm pleasantly surprised. This was a proof by induction, so I did the proof, so there's no need to check it. Okay, show that this is the integral, which I did the integral, that's fine. And then blah blah blah, integration by parts, pi over 3 minus root 3 plus 2. I have pi over 6 minus 3 root 2. Oh, so then I probably messed up here. The arc cosine of pi over 2 the arc cosine of 1/2. Oh, that's pi over 3. See? Oh, I messed up. This should be pi over 3. Oh well, not that big of a deal. Okay, x is pi minus b over 2. Yeah, I have that. But apparently there's a second answer. Pi over 2 plus b over 2. I guess. Sure, there's a second answer. My bad. Okay, let's see. -1, -5 over 2, so that looks good. And then what was I even supposed to do for this one? Find the inflection point. So, oh, here, 2 to the power 2 over 5, yeah. And then a is 2 over 5, yeah. And then b is -5, b is -5, that looks good. Oh, I actually got the shape kind of right. Not bad. Good for me, okay. Okay, let's see, Cartesian equation, x plus z is 1. I have the negative version, so that's fine. 2 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3. Okay, I guess I did that right. So ignore what I said about this angle supplement complement thing. I guess. Okay, and then equation 3, x plus y minus z equals 0. And then I just have the negative version, so that's fine. Okay, show the midpoint. I showed the midpoint, so that's fine. And then the area should be root 3 over 12. Why is it root 3 over 12? Why is it not what I did? Because they did the same process. They took the cross product of the position vector of P and Q. I know my P is right, because it's the midpoint, and I showed that it was the midpoint. My Q is off, but I don't know why. So they got a lambda of 2 over 3. Okay, I messed up somewhere. I don't know where. My process was right though. So not bad. Okay. And then I'll just save the last question for, I guess, next Thursday. It's a complex question, so I didn't want to spend more time than I already did today. Plus, I really gotta poop, so I'm gonna call it here, guys. Anyways, enjoy your spring break if you're on it. I'll see you guys on Thursday. And for those that are in my class, I'm going to start reviewing the trig next Sunday. So next Sunday and then next Thursday. Not this coming Thursday, but next Thursday. I'll be going over our trig package. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining. Goodbye.